and welcome back to the 3 Count and Out podcast. This week is the retirement episode because in football and wrestling, we have a whole lot of people either retired or out or hurt or whatever, and there are spots that have to be filled. I am surprisingly optimistic as someone who just lost our franchise center, but I am Era V1, and this week I am joined by 3 men that could have wrestled better than Satnam Singh last night.
Hey everybody, I'm the guy who's always online, Fire Guy Kev, FGK.
I got injured trying to connect to this call. My name is Mike, or Swanee.
What?
I'm out with injury now, just like everybody else in AEW.
Oh, shit.
These bros think that it's about being the most extreme, but it's actually about being the most duck dive. Hi, I'm Jackal.
I think Discord cut out during that because all I heard was duck dive.
You know what? I'll take it. We'll keep it.
That's probably right, though. You got the gist of it.
That's a perfect entrance.
Duck dive.
Hi, I'm Jackal.
Hey, anytime you see Jackal out in public, duck and dive. Just get out of the
way. And you know
and if you see him fall, just say, good game, wuss puss.
I think it's only apropos in lieu, in memoriam of those that we've lost this week. Oh, crack a cold one over.
So that's what you guys hear all the time. That is nice. I like that.
Because the saddest piece of news in the NFL world has come out today that the Denver Broncos have released Russell Wilson from his contract. No! Broncos country, let's cry. In lieu of doing this, I think the Denver Broncos have created almost negative $100 million in dead cap space.
Hey,
that team is going to be worthless next year.
Why?
Oh, next year. Right.
Next year, this season, whatever the correct saying is.
You know what we
mean.
No, I mean,
they've been worthless for like the last 3 years.
Oh, that is true. Yeah, they have been not worth a shit since, the sheriff was still in town, and that was already... God, Jesus Christ. I keep thinking 2015 is like, oh yeah, that was like 3-4 years ago. No, 2015 is getting close on a decade ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago. We're in 2024.
Jesus.
We're old.
How many Super Bowls did Denver Broncos have?
A couple, a few. They won the one with Peyton Manning, and they won a lot when John Elway was in town. So they're a 70s to 80s team. I'm not certain of the actual the Denver Broncos lore, if you will, but they do have a couple under their belt. So they're not exactly a poverty franchise, if you will. So
they kind of got like a Red Wings treatment then, where like, back then very good, but now they're kind of like, all right, guys, time to spend the next 10 years rebuilding and maybe get to that point of when we were good.
Especially now that the fact that they just blew a bunch of picks and a bunch of money on a quarterback that landed about 10 wins over the course of 2 seasons, and now
I was just about to ask what their record was last season.
Yeah, I mean they
last season
they had a
last season was actually surprising because I thought they were going to be one of those teams that was like they have a win, that's neat, but they somehow actually managed a string of wins there for a bit where it was like, whoa, what's going on in Denver? And then all of a sudden it was like, they were like, oh, sorry, we're Denver. We're supposed to lose. That's right. My bad.
They were nowhere near close to a playoff this year, were they?
They were in the hunt for a minute because they had a really terrible beginning to the season, but the second half of the season they did okay. I think they knocked off the Chiefs at one point. They knocked off the Bills. They gave the Lions a really strong first quarter, and then of course we ran away with that one. But
yeah,
it wasn't terrible for Denver, I'll say, but it wasn't exactly ideal either, especially for what they gave up and how much money they were paying for Russell Wilson. But now that Broncos country let's ride era is said and done, that QB spot is opened up in Denver, which people are actually going to think is going to be filled by Michigan's own JJ McCarthy, who is rising up draft boards as his stock increases at the NFL Combine.
Huh. Is there a NFL Combine wise? Is there a quarterback that's like, this guy's going somewhere? Is there like a number one? Everybody wants this quarterback from somewhere.
Well,
Or it's kinda
actually,
like-
Kevin, that is a perfect segue into the next little bit that I was wanting to talk about, because Mr. Caleb Williams, the consensus #1 overall first pick, continually doing things to drop his draft stock and plummet it, because now it has come out that he doesn't want to participate in half of the combine events. He doesn't want to stretch. He wasn't planning on throwing. And this is also after he said whatever team drafts him, he wants a part ownership of.
What?
And this is a guy.
Whoa.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you never heard about that, the dude's a fucking diva.
You
Yes,
can
he
I
ask
hope he
that?
fails.
Christ.
God.
Mm-hmm. He, for those who don't know, he is the USC quarterback, University of Southern California. He was the Heisman winner, not last season, but the season before, where USC was one game away from making the college football playoffs. And of course, out in California, they forget how to play defense a bit. So the Caleb Williams led USC to get close to making to the college football playoffs, but the defense just said, nah, we're done here. We don't want any more games, and they missed it. Had a terrible season. Well, actually, no, I shouldn't say terrible. They had an okay season last year where he sort of just quit halfway through because he realized, I got a NFL contract waiting for me in a couple months, so I'm gonna worry about myself and make a schnit ton of money. And he basically said, whatever team drafts him, he wants a part ownership of. Because people were thinking that this was around the time when the Cardinals haven't won a single game, around the time where the Bears were doing bear things and still owning the #1 draft pick because of Carolina.
You could almost call them bare necessities.
I see what you did there. And getting to the combine where he basically just told everybody, like, yeah, you're not going to see what I'm going to do because I don't want to hurt myself and I don't feel the need to throw, and you've seen the work I've done. And Mike is correct. It is a big old diva move. So people are still thinking that Chicago is going to trade away Justin Fields and take him with the first overall pick from Carolina. But of course, only time will tell, as the NFL draft being held in Detroit, no less, takes place sometime in April, I believe, next month.
Well, and what's worse is that, like, it seems like his piece of shit attitude has rubbed off on other stars. Like, Marvin Harrison Jr. was going into things fine. Now, all of a sudden, well, I don't want to catch. I just want to be there. It's like, but you're a wide receiver trying to be in, like, the top 5, maybe top 3. And now you're just like, nah. And it just seems like Caleb Williams, like, it seems like his shitty attitude is just rubbing off on other players, which is the last thing that needs to happen.
And in my personal opinion, I also think Marvin Harrison Jr. is also just afraid of Lucas Oil Stadium, because thanks to the good old Michigan Wolverines, he has yet to play a single game there, because that's where the Big Ten championship is had, because Michigan has kept out Ohio State every single time he's been a part of the team. Little gloat, because fuck the Buckeyes.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I am more so believing of Marvin Harrison Jr. as opposed to Caleb Williams, because there are still good quarterbacks in this draft. This wide receiver core it's like Marvin Harrison Jr., the guy from Washington, and maybe a Texas receiver, and that's it. There is nothing when it comes to wide receivers, and I know the teams are going to draft him regardless. So,
is there someone in this combine, like, is there somebody that's like levels above where they're just crazy walk-on crazy good? Like, is there anybody that, like, we're gonna be looking at and being like, this dude's gonna be running shit? Is there anyone that we should be looking out for?
As far as day one starters, outside of the quarterbacks, the running backs, the usual top prospects, one thing that I was personally blown away is we had a player out of Texas, Xavier Worthy, break the record for 40-yard dash, as we have a new fastest man in football. He ran a 40-yard dash. Now let's take a little guess. Quick guesses around the board, all three of you.
I know what it is.
I don't know where to even start. I'm not sure what a good time is. So 40 yards, let's say he ran a 4:13.
450?
Ooh.
4:13.
He ran the 40-yard dash in 4.21.
Oh, okay.
Which
okay,
is the
close
record.
then.
That is
Yeah.
the record.
Damn.
He ran 40 yards in just over 4 seconds. What was the previous record?
crazy.
Like, how close was it?
4.22.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
4.22. Very, very slim margin here.
He got
So
a finger across.
Yeah, if he can catch a football, he is basically like essentially the next Tyreek Hill, where he can just fuck right off and nobody's gonna get near him.
we are very much going into the era that speed kills when as far as wide receivers go. You want someone on the outside who you can dump the ball off to quickly because you want him to have 99 speed, 99 acceleration. As fun as it was to watch like a Calvin Johnson, where someone can just be a better catcher, a better player than you just because they outsize you and outmatch you, unfortunately, I think that era has come to an end because these guys that are coming out of college now are so fast. So fast. They don't have the size on them that they did anymore. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me check my notes here. That is a perfect segue into our next topic of conversation, because with this man, he didn't start out the biggest either. He didn't start out the strongest. He didn't start out as the biggest one. But damn it, if he didn't capture the spirit, the essence of a whole city, I feel not qualified enough to talk about this. I'm going to pass the reins on over as we talk about one of the first retirements of the episode. Mr. Philadelphia yourself, would you like to take control of this one?
Yeah, I mean, Jason Kelce obviously retired, which to nobody's surprise, right? I mean, this dude, he's been playing for over a decade, probably like 12 or 13 years, right? Like it's not a surprise.
A hell of a run.
Yeah,
indeed.
There's no other way to put it. I mean, he was like, whenever you needed like a spokesperson for the Eagles, Jason Kelce was the person that was out there. You know, like it's not just him retiring. Isn't like, yeah, we're gonna have to fill that center role, and Cam Jurgens is stepping up into that role, and he's a fucking beast too. He's literally like he's basically. I think he's actually bigger than Kelce because they're both like around that 6'3". I think they're both 6'3", and then Cam Jurgens is like 300, and I think that's around where Kelce. So like size wise, it's staying the same in that center spot. So, and the things are going to be changing anyways because we're getting different coordinators and shit. So like, I guess if he's going to leave now makes sense because next year it's going to be different. They're going to be trying different stuff. Tush push, like it was fun, but I don't think they're going to really be doing it much anymore. You know, like it's something that people know what's happening, and now people know that you can just get onto the center and you fuck it up. And if Jason Kelce isn't there anymore, Cam Jurgens isn't going to be able to do it like Jason Kelce. So there's really no reason to run it. So, you know, everyone could stop talking about wanting to ban it and shit. We can finally put all that behind us, and we can just get back to the Eagles being one of the best damn teams in the NFL. You know, we can just start winning again. It's going to feel good.
I will say that Philly is going to be a much different team next year because of all the pieces that are changing, everything that's going to get swapped in and out. I personally think, as someone who is going to be hopefully on top of the NFC side, just like Philadelphia, I think it's going to be a good thing for the team. As much as I want to see my team succeed and my team do better, I think the changes that are coming to Philly are going to be very, 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 very needed for the team because, well, let's call a spade a spade. The reason why you guys lost to the Bucs in the playoffs, it feels like that defense just sort of quit halfway through, and the fact that Matt Patricia's on the way out already kind of just goes to show you that things are going to be headed in a good direction and you're going to get some fresh blood on offense. So Philly, I feel, is going to be a very scary team to look at next year. So here's hoping.
Yeah, I have some stats here for Jason Kelce. So these are his career highlights and awards. So obviously, Super Bowl champion. Got to start there. He's a 6-time first team All-Pro. 7-time Pro Bowl, and 2-time second team All Big East in college. And he, out of the 193 games that he played, he started 193. He was the franchise center for the Philadelphia Eagles. So it is, it's going to suck to see him go. But hey, he's not going to be gone, you know, like he's not just going to disappear. He's going to be around. He's just not going to be playing. But they've apparently had this succession plan in place since 2022. So Cam Jurgens has had more than enough time to get ready and to prepare himself, you know, so it's not like it's just a, here you go, good luck. Like it's a passing of the torch, you know. So Jason Kelce may not be playing, but he's still going to be around. It's all good. And like I said, today I'm surprisingly optimistic because, you know, it is the retirement episode. We talk about Jason Kelce. We also have to talk about last night, you know, the final match for Sting. It was what closed out AEW Revolution, which in my opinion is a fucking amazing pay-per-view. It was great. But you know, we're finding ourselves in this spot right now, and this is kind of this is the theme that I want to have for today's episode. We're finding ourselves in a spot right now with football and with pro wrestling where these spots are starting to open up. These older people are starting to leave. You know, with Kenny Omega, he's out due to illness. Who can fill that spot? Will Ospreay, right? Sting leaves. Who can come back and fill Sting's spot on the roster? I argue Darby Allin could step up and kind of get that singles push finally. You know, so I think that we're in the spot where there's going to be a lot, and even we could say on the WWE side, Brock Lesnar's out, Braun Breaker's in, right? So like, we're in the spot now where you have to kind of step up and step into the shoes that are already there and then build your name off of that. And I think that was kind of really the theme of Revolution as well, because you saw your older people out there, you know, you saw Christian Cage and people that have been around the industry for a while that are established names. But then you also see, like, in as much as I hate to say it, in that fucking 8-man all-star scramble match that they replaced Meat Madness with, which sucks. I really wanted Meat Madness, but like, who the fuck was Magnus? Who was that dude in there? But you know what? He fucking killed it. You know, like this.
That's just their CMLL obligation.
Right, but like, this is where we are, where it's like these new names are going to start coming up and we're going to have to start learning them. You know what I mean? Like, this is the time for people to kind of step into that spot.
It's a changing of the guard that is much needed, because I harken your minds back to the Royal Rumble episode where we were basically saying that, you know, sometimes the Royal Rumble doesn't need to rely on all of these older talents, already all of these established players in this game, and now it's starting to look like that. Hell, these established players of the game aren't really sticking around long enough to be a part of these things anymore, and I think that's a good thing. Albeit football or wrestling, either or, it's nice to see fresh talent on the product, and it makes for entertaining watch. I'll tell you that much.
Well, that's if companies like AEW let their people survive, for fuck's sake, because we have Darby Allin going through another pain of real fucking glass.
Oh, dude, my God! Cry me a river,
dude. I most of the time when I'm sitting here watching wrestling, like, I'm okay with most of the shit that happens, right? Like I'll see a thumbtack spot and I'm like, oh man, that's rough. Watching Darby Allin's back just erupt into blood, like, within seconds, he was covered. I was legitimately worried that he was going to bleed out at ringside. Like, what the fuck, dude? Let Sting have his last match. You don't need to kill yourself in it. Like, again, it wasn't. We talked about this last week. He's going to climb Mount Everest. You can't climb Mount Everest when your back is like that. And apparently on Wednesday, he has a match with Jay White. Jay White's just going to smash him into the mat. You just hit one fucking power bomb on him, and he's going to be done because his back is made of fucking sandpaper. Got glass in it. And everyone in the front row was getting rainbow and glass.
To want to, you know what I can't wait for? I can't wait for the CM Punk Instagram story where he goes, I told you guys, AEW is the worst company ever. I'm CM Punk. I'm a little bitch. It's just going to happen. I can't wait for the CM Punk glass story. It's going to happen. I'm calling it now.
Well, I like during the media scrum, Tony Khan goes, yeah, you're having a match with Jay White, and Darby Allin's exact words. Ah, fuck.
Yeah, I didn't stay up for the scrum, yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. He's like, oh, shit, really? Damn it. Oh, no.
Oh, fuck.
Like, his back is Swiss cheese. If he drinks a bottle of water, it just pours out his back. And Tony Khan's like, come on, you're the only guy that's healthy right now, bud. Get up on that horse. You can do it. I believe in you.
They could have
watched Revolution. All you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Through a nice bootleg TikTok live stream, baby.
No better way.
I don't need to confirm nor deny the legitimacy of the stream I was watching.
I did not watch it. So I would like to have a give me a quick rundown of the matches, and then what are your thoughts on them more? Because this is how I'm going to learn.
Era, do you have the match card pulled up in the order it went in?
Well, no, hold on. If he doesn't know what the match card is, maybe he should pull it up.
I do have a computer in front of me.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I do have the match card pulled up all the way from the pre-show.
If you got it pulled up.
All right. So the first match, we'll keep this one brief because it was a pre-show match, and I do have one thought on this. Bang Bang Scissor Gang, which is the Acclaimed and the Bang Bang Gang, the Bullet Club, Club, whatever the fuck club they are. And then Jeff Jarrett and his cronies. I said it in the beginning, you guys could all wrestle better than Satnam Singh. I don't know what the fuck is happening there. Also, Max Caster just can't rap anymore. He fucked up again for like the third time in a row. So I don't know, man. It was a good match, but also like, damn, I'm glad it was pre-show because I was barely paying attention.
Yeah, I got nothing. I got nothing nice to say.
The only good part of that was a 7-way Ric Flair strut from Jeff Jarrett and his gang. I mean, that was
North Carolina, funny. Nonetheless.
Yeah,
they were pissed.
But I mean, other than that, that match happened, and I was like, okay, all right, that was indeed a thing.
All right, so that was the pre-show.
Well, the second pre-show match was Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale versus Julia Hart and Sky Blue. Good women's tag team wrestling match. Chris Statlander is always enjoyable. Like it was a good match. I don't know why they put it on the pre-show, to be honest. I guess maybe because it didn't have a title on it, but I don't know. I feel like it honestly probably would have fit that spot better than the 8-man scramble, but they put it on the pre-show for whatever reason. Huh. I guess Tony Khan just doesn't like women.
We just need to be done with fucking pre-shows and then be like, okay, let's just make this card 5 hours long. Because a pre-show is just that. Right?
Yeah, a pre-show is if it's a good pre-show, it's me going, why is this stuff on a pre-show? Because like it should be behind the pay-per-view, but whatever. I don't know. I don't run the business. And then the first official match of the pay-per-view, or the AEW TNT Championship, Christian Cage, the champion, accompanied by Killswitch, who's just Luchasaurus, and Nick Wayne and his mommy, versus Daniel Garcia. And honestly, Christian Cage won. I'm disappointed because I wanted Daniel Garcia to have that championship. I don't understand why AEW is making Daniel Garcia lose all the time. I don't get it.
I thought he was.
I wish I had an answer for that one.
He did get a push. He was getting a big push in 2023, and then they just forgot about him. They just went with Hook instead.
Well, I mean, Daniel Garcia's dad isn't on commentary, so I don't know what to tell you there.
No, you're right. It's probably just some politic bullshit.
I mean, he did get to push his genitals into Christian's face, which was kind of funny. But
It's true. Yeah, he did. He fucked Christian in the face, literally.
Nice.
I will say, out of all the matches last night, this was the one that I was pleasantly surprised with. I kind of had no expectations for this one. I kind of figured the other banger matches on the card were going to be banger matches. This one, I just sort of felt like it was a nothing match where it delivered. Where I thought it was going to be a 0 out of 10, it gave me like a 6 out of 10. So this one, it was fun to watch Christian do heelish things. I always like looking at Luchasaurus. It's fun. This little click stable, I'm not certain the name of it off the top of my head, but
they don't really have a name. I think it's just Christian Cage.
He's just their dad. I don't know.
Yeah.
Was it like the family or something?
Yeah, I think their actual name is like the Patriarchy or something.
How cute because of the
Christian
dance.
Cage is their dad. He's their father.
They are going to be running into a problem here soon, though, because I don't know if any other wrestlers have lost their dad anymore. I think they
Tony Khan will take care of it. Tony Khan will he'll keep it rolling. He'll hire some hitmen.
Apparent. What happened to your dad? He slipped. What can I say? He had an accident.
It's actually a question on the job application. And you apply, do you have a dead dad? If you answer yes, it's an automatic. All right,
you're hired. You're hired. You're in.
Yeah, I don't know what storyline they're doing with Christian anymore. If they're just like, I don't know, keep the belt on until we figure something out. Maybe that's it.
I think they're just keeping the belt on him until Edge gets healed up, and then they'll start running that back.
Well, the problem is Edge's body is now made of like sandpaper and Teflon.
Well, you're not supposed to say that part out loud, Mike.
He's just resting. He's tired.
He's on vacation. He's in Disney or whatever.
I mean, he had one match in WWE back, got injured, joined Judgment Day, got injured, went to AEW, had a match, got injured. There's a trend here. I'm no scientist, but you know what? I bet I can figure that shit out.
God, if only there was a really popular diva coming back soon in her hometown city of somewhere in Massachusetts that's doing the exact same thing that everybody's going to lose their mind over, and it'll probably be another 2 to 3 months before she gets injured and put on the shelf for 6 more months. God, if only! Wait a second. Big business in Boston is coming up soon. We'll save that.
No, can't be related. Don't know what you're talking about.
No. Lucky guess. Sorry, my bad.
Yep.
I think I used this segue last week, but I'm going to use it again. You want to talk about big business? Let's talk about Eddie Kingston versus Bryan Danielson.
Oh, yeah.
For the AEW match. Continental Crown, Triple Crown, fucking every title under the sun. It's fucking Eddie Kingston versus the world, and he finally got the respect he deserves, and it was such a fucking good match. And I don't care what anybody says. Eddie Kingston and that strong style, man, he does it well for television, and it's so fun to watch.
Match
I say this is
not match of the night.
This is the one time, like AEW, not great at storytelling. The storytelling they've done in the trilogy of Eddie Kingston and Bryan Danielson has been fucking great. Because it started off with Bryan Danielson just like laughing every time he's in a ring with Eddie, call him a chump, beats his ass the first time, right? Second match, goes in cocky, Eddie whips him, all of a sudden halfway through the match you see him panicking, Bryan loses. This match, he comes in with a full plan, gets all of his signature stuff in, and then you can see they do great face work with him, where he is just giving up because he doesn't know what to do anymore. Because everything he thinks he was supposed to do to beat Eddie didn't work. And it's just, that was the one time where I was like, AEW did storytelling right? What? This is beautiful. Oh my God.
Every
I didn't know this could happen.
Yeah, there was a line.
It was just such gold.
There was a line from Nigel McGuinness, because the whole like gimmick of the match was that at the end of the match, if Danielson lost, he had to shake Kingston's hand. So, and the whole, like at the end of the match, Nigel McGuinness, who was on commentary, had a line where he said that if Bryan Danielson doesn't shake Eddie Kingston's hand now, he's going to spit in the face of everything that Ring of Honor was founded on. Which Bryan Danielson and Nigel McGuinness were two of the founding fathers for Ring of Honor. And, you know, Ring of Honor has the handshake, however it goes, we gain each other's respect through the ring or whatever bullshit they say, you know, like, so, and that's the kind of storytelling that they were doing with this match, where it was very much like Bryan Danielson has to shake Eddie Kingston's hand, or Bryan Danielson is not Bryan Danielson anymore. Like, it was very much like this, he has to do this. Like, Bryan didn't want to do it at first, you know, but then like eventually they got there, and it was so well executed. And I feel like Bryan is just one of those guys that can go out there and like feel out the crowd and kind of time things out that way. And it was just done so well.
Mm-hmm.
I will say I have not finished many wrestling matches with a boner afterwards, and this was one of those matches. Indeed, there was just something just so manly about it, and it just spoke to the testosterone in my body. However, one thing I will say about this match is that normally when wrestlers, you know, take off their straps of their singlet, normally that means they're fired up, they're getting ready to go. Eddie Kingston, okay, oh, you're beating my ass here. Let me take my straps off. All right, come on, hit me more. I was like, hey, you know what? It's a bold strategy, Cotton, and it paid off for him. Because it's one of those tiny little things like, oh, I never thought about it that way. Thank you, Eddie. I appreciate that. It was kind of weird, but it makes sense for you.
I love how Eddie Kingston...
that's Eddie's, hey, fuck you, hit me. I dare you. That's what Eddie does. He goes, yeah, fucking hit me. Go for it. Strike me. I'll hit you harder.
This singlet was such a good touch. Just, wait, hold on, I'll make it easier. And go for it.
I love how Eddie Kingston wears kick pads, but he doesn't throw kicks. Like, he's like, fuck yeah, dude, I'm a pro wrestler. I get to wear pro wrestler clothes. But all he does is fucking jab at people and smack them across the chest. That's it. Eddie Kingston is just a street fight. You want to talk about macho men? Let's talk about what replaced the Meat Madness match, which would have been one of the most macho men matches ever. The All-Star 8-man scramble, with the winner receiving a future AEW World Championship match at their choosing. It was Wardlow with Adam Cole, Mike Bennett, and Matt Taven in his corner versus Chris Jericho versus Powerhouse Hobbs versus Lance Archer with Jake the Snake Roberts in his corner versus Hook versus Brian Cage with Prince Nana in his corner versus Magnus versus Dante Martin, and Wardlow fucking won.
That's a lot of words you just said. Okay, hold on. First of all, what happened to the big meaty men slapping meaty men match?
I guess they
was supposed to also have Miro and Keith Lee. Miro's been out since September, so like I don't know how they thought that was going to happen.
And Keith Lee's been hurt since like 2020.
He's had one match in the last like 2 years, and they were like, "We're going to get him." No, you're not. So all of a sudden they were like, well, we had to cancel the match because, we didn't have everybody. It's like, well, no shit, you idiots.
Yeah.
Duh.
Wait, so they just like last minute canceled it because they were like, oh, well, our injury plan didn't really work out like we thought.
No, they added 4 more men to it.
Oh.
Yeah.
But not big meaty men.
I will say, the best part of that match clearly was when the big fellas were in the ring, and every time they hit each other, the crowd just went, meat.
Yeah.
Meat. It was so good. It's so stupid, but it was so fun.
The one question that I have from that match, how come fucking Powerhouse Hobbs and Mark Henry aren't like, why aren't they a thing on TV? Because Powerhouse Hobbs is using Mark Henry's World's Strongest Slam, and he calls it the world's most dangerous slam. Like, just go hang out with Mark Henry. He's right next to you. He says it's time for the main event every Friday. Go fucking talk to him. Go bring him out on TV. Like, that would be a great pairing. I don't understand. I don't get why we haven't had that yet.
I think that was another one of those. They were just like, hey, he works with this person. Nope, that didn't work. Hey, he works with this person. Nope, that didn't work. Hey, we're just going to have Powerhouse Hobbs be a big guy now. That works, right, friends?
I mean, I like Powerhouse Hobbs, but I don't know. I feel like when you're a big dude, right? Like, no matter how well you can talk, I feel like you still need to have like the promoter there. You know, like you need to have. Yeah. You need to be like presented as an attraction, and if you're just you doing that, you don't feel any different from anybody else. But like, if Paul Heyman has to be there to talk, you know, like now all of a sudden it feels more important when it's like, oh, Paul Heyman's here. He's here on behalf of this person. Like, it just kind of has a different tone to it. So I feel like, you know, with Powerhouse Hobbs, or I don't know who you would really pair with Wardlow, but like they tried to do Lance Archer with Jake the Snake. I like seeing Jake the Snake out there, but like that pairing just doesn't work. He walks
around like he's 100.
Well, I mean, I like seeing him out there, but I only like seeing him out there because it's still confirmation that he's alive. Can we also point out the fact?
Only Taz mentioned it last night. We almost lost Jake the Snake Roberts last night. You saw that shit, right?
Huh?
What?
What?
Motherfucker almost walked right into the pyro.
Oh
fuck!
God,
yeah, that's right.
Serious?
He did almost walk into the pyro, right?
Yeah, like Taz is the one that pointed out there where he's like, "Oh, we almost lost Jake the Snake. He was real close to that pyro." And they were like,
the
"Yeah,
pyro that was going, or he walked over the hole he wasn't supposed to walk over."
Like no, it was like going the pyro went off,
close. And he was just kind of a little wide, you know,
just doing his old man stumble.
Okay,
you know how the older wrestlers kind of drift around when they stand in one place for too long.
Yeah,
he was doing that.
That would have been awful, but a great headline: Jake the Snake Robert cooked at Revolution.
Famous last words. Where's the bathroom?
They did a lot of cooking last night, to be honest. So you know.
This match isn't the only thing that cooked. Jake the Snake Roberts more or less
dead at 99.
You know who else fucking died last night after he got his back broken in half? Orange Cassidy after he lost to Roderick Strong.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So
Roderick Strong is the new AEW International Champion. Roderick Strong hasn't wrestled an indie match in like fucking 5 years or whatever.
Good Lord.
I can't tell if that move was planned or
the backbreaker onto the top turnbuckle. No, it doesn't look like it.
Because he just dropped him square on his fucking spine and was like, "Sorry, champ."
I'll have to see that.
We may need, Kev, we may need to have you like watch a clip and like, I don't know if you can tell us how it's safely done, but it doesn't look like it's safely done at all.
No.
All right, I'll look it up in a second. I'm gonna check this out.
There's a lot of things from last night.
There's a clip of Will Ospreay getting his fucking back broken in half too. Oh my God. Oh. But yeah, no, I mean, that was a great match. I like Orange Cassidy. I think he always looks better with a title around his waist. So kind of weird. But also, I mean,
he's held that for a while, hasn't he? Twice.
Yeah, and it's his second reign with it. And they even like before they were leading up to it, they were like the doctors forcing Orange Cassidy to have his ribs and back taped up. And it's like, all right, well, if you know about Roderick Strong, you know one of his nicknames is the King of the Backbreaker. Like, like when they go, oh, this person has a back injury, and they go into a match against Roderick Strong's going to win. Like, that's just his thing. So it is what it is. But you know, I think it was done. I think it was done pretty well. Well, I also think what was done pretty well was the fucking Road Warriors cosplay that John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli had at the Blackpool Combat Club when they went up against FTR for the just the tag team match, just for fun, and just going out there and just going and killing each other for the hell of it. I guess no championships or anything on the line, just violence, just Dax Harwood bleeding all over the place.
I saw you guys mentioned that he was bleeding heavy.
John Moxley didn't bleed. Yeah. Dax Harwood did, though.
Yeah. Good Lord. Was it a hard way or was it just a bad botch?
Dude, I have no idea. I think he bladed because even the commentators were like, well, yeah, we're not really sure if he like got caught in the corner or if he hit the stairs too, but he didn't start bleeding right away. So we're like, oh, maybe he got caught on the stairs on the outside. He just kind of started bleeding. So I think he just kind of took a little razor blade and a little poke. And, but it didn't look like a straight, like, blade cut either. Like, it was just weird. It just looked fucked up.
The thing that confused me, though, is, like, they seemed almost fine with it. And then after, like, they did the thing in the corner, the tag team move off the ropes, that's when they started checking his head. And I was like, what? Why now? What happened between his head already bleeding and now that made them more concerned? That was the part that got me, because it just came out of nowhere. They were like, oh shit.
This one's actually serious. Oh, no.
How far into the match was he? Like, was it? Did he like bleed early and then just last all the match, or at least go to like the last 5 minutes?
So he bled for a good 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Damn, okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking he cut himself open, because he popped open pretty early, and it wasn't really like, it was a violent match, but it wasn't that kind of match. You know what I mean? Like, dude, John Moxley wasn't even bleeding, and he'll take any opportunity. So,
Right? That's how you know.
That's what I don't think he does anymore. I think he might have gotten in trouble from Renee or something, and he was like, I can't bleed anymore, guys. My wife said no.
She's
my kid watches the show now, man.
I bladed on my way to go get a bowl of cereal, and she said, all right, John, enough's enough. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry, I just can't help it. This match, unfortunately, I have nothing to say about, because while it did cook, I was also cooking during it as I made myself dinner, so I didn't get to watch much.
Fair. I mean, it was just good tag team wrestling. Like, you know, they're both great teams, but there was nothing on the line. There was like, this is something where it's like, hey, why not give the women this opportunity? Like, why not? Like, why are we just doing a fun? Here you go. Here's a tag. This could have happened on Rampage. This could have happened on Dynamite. This could have happened on Collision. Why is this here? It's a random tag team match between two of your main event tag teams. It could happen on your weekly TV. It's fine.
That's what I mean. AEW just does this thing where they're like, what about this random match? And everybody's like, fucking why? And then the match is incredible.
Tony Khan wants.
Yeah, the match is absolutely stellar because the people in it are amazing and have great chemistry. It just makes no fucking sense, though. It's just a match they were like, here, have fun. And I mean, they did it because, you know, Bullet Club is still like the bullies. And they're like, we're better than everybody. And FTR is like, well, not us. And they were like, yeah, we are. Nuh-uh. Yeah, nuh-uh. And then match. That's how it came about.
Said, fuck you mean, nuh-uh. And then they cut their forehead open and bled all over the place.
Yeah. It's like he stole Mox's spot and be like, see, we're better than you.
We can do it too. Like, you're nothing special.
The match that did have story for it, though, was the singles match for the AEW Women's Championship. That had some story behind it, as we had Timeless Toni Storm versus Gianna Perazzo. Timeless Toni Storm.
Before we get to the match, who else got fooled by fucking Mariah May?
Oh yeah, the reveal. Yeah, yeah.
She came out dressed as Toni Storm, and I was like, damn, it's Tony time.
Yeah.
Oh no. That's Mariah May.
She came out in the OG Tony dress. Yeah. If anything, that just shows me that Tony Khan has a type, you know?
Yeah. She looked more like Toni Storm than Toni Storm did.
She did. Dude, did you hear the crowd? Her and the other reveal with the Stings and his sons. Like the same thing.
Yeah.
It was, like they went crazy for that too. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good match. I've liked this whole Toni Storm story that they're doing. I think they're doing it very, very, very well. I'm excited that she won, and because again, I like it. I want to see more. I think they're really only kind of starting to just kind of hit that point where like this character is just starting to really take off, and people are starting to really understand what it is. I think as soon as they started doing the black and white. Like as soon as they started doing that on the camera where they were like cutting it in like half black and white, half color, I think that's when it started to click for a lot of people. And so I'm excited that she won because like now it's really time for them to kind of step it up and really put it into gear now that people are behind it.
Because I will say, you did tell me last week to go back and watch that entrance with the half and half color, how it would absolutely tickle my filmmaker fancy, and boy, oh boy, that did the trick. And honestly, I have such a tiny, simple little monkey brain that is enough for me to enjoy a gimmick, because holy shit, this is another match that I enjoyed a lot more than I thought I was going to. Because it makes me wonder why Toni Storm was let go in the first place. Because she is one hell of a fucking performer too. Because like right now, if I want some AEW WWE invasion, like dream booking, Timeless Toni Storm, Rhea Ripley, 1-on-1 right now where they're both at, holy shit! This is like, in my opinion, right now, the first time in a long time where the heads of women wrestling are really fucking good across both companies, because holy shit, they've put in the work. They have made it shown on TV with their quality of matches always being good. These characters right now are great. I'm liking where women's wrestling is at. However, the undercard for women's wrestling could use some work. But as far as this match goes, fucking 2 thumbs up for me. It was great.
It's like AEW. I mean, both companies do it, but it's like AEW goes, all right, we have 4 or 5 women we can use. And it's like, no. What about Taya? What about Lady Frost? What about, everybody else you brought in? They're like, no, we're just going to use Julia Hart, Sky Blue, Chris, Willow, and Deanna and Tony until their bodies fall apart, like Jamie Hayter's and Britt Baker's did. It's like, guys, you have like an all-star cast. Fucking use it, man.
Yeah,
bring them in. Put them to work.
I don't get what Tony's fascination is of just running his talent into the fucking ground, because like, oh, I got this good thing. I might as well make this be the only thing that I show on TV for the next month and a half. What's that? You're held together with hopes and dreams? Ooh, okay, go take another year and a half off. It's like, fuck's sake, man. It's not really a good way to run a company, but what do I know? I'm just some fat white dude from Michigan.
It kind of makes sense why, maybe I played devil's advocate here. Maybe WWE saw the writing on the wall with some of these people. Maybe when, you know what? You know what, Keith? You're really good, but you're a little bit injury prone there, bud. Maybe, whoopsie-doosies, budget cuts, oopsie-doos, sorry. Maybe they were saving themselves the headache there. But again, I'm happy that AEW is there as the alternative, and that I'm happy that Tony Khan's willing to throw money at them until they're healthy. I mean, I guess. But it was a great match. I do want to say, before we talk about this next match, we talk about, people being run into the ground with injuries, and we talk about people being out. And, we can talk about there's a hole in the AEW roster right now because Kenny Omega is out. He's got diverticulitis or whatever the fuck. And he wants to go chill at home, which is cool. And look,
I mean, he also had 4 surgeries.
Yeah. Listen, all I'm going to say is this. Is it inconvenient that Kenny Omega is sitting on the sidelines injured? And as soon as he's out, AEW is able to look forward and they're able to say, hey, look who's coming on the horizon. What's that? Oh, shit. Look at that, bruv. It's Will Ospreay. And then he comes on down. He comes into AEW. He puts on a fucking barn burner against Konosuke Takeshita. By the way, that was the first time either one of those men have met in the ring in a one-on-one match. That was fucking insane. That's crazy. And I think it just goes back to what I was saying before, where it's time for these people that have always been talked about as, oh, this person's going to be the next Kenny Omega. This person's going to be the next Brock Lesnar. This person's going to be the next Jason Kelce or whoever, however you want to phrase it, whatever you're looking at. It's time for these people to start stepping into these spots. And I really hope that Tony Khan doesn't fuck up Will Ospreay, because
hold on a second there. Hold on.
Okay.
Will Ospreay isn't the next Kenny Omega. Will Ospreay's the first Will fucking Ospreay. All right,
True.
there's no
This is
replacing Kenny.
But
Let's not fucking call him that because all you're doing is putting a barrier on what he can do.
Okay, maybe
He
I phrased it
talks
the wrong
different.
way.
He is different. He's not there to replace Kenny. He's there to be fucking Will Ospreay and put a whole new spin on what AEW does because he does things in that ring a lot of other people don't do. He makes moves that shouldn't look impactful look more impactful.
Maybe I phrased it the wrong
Kenny's
way.
out for a bit.
Maybe I phrased it the wrong way then. There is a high level roster spot open in AEW right now that has not been open for a while. Kenny Omega held that spot for a while. Now it's open. Now it's time for Will Ospreay to step up into that spot and be better. I agree. I think Will Ospreay is better. I think Will Ospreay is Will Ospreay. I think that Will Ospreay being in AEW, my concern with Will Ospreay being in AEW is that Tony Khan is going to book him the way Tony Khan books everyone else, just like we just talked about. Yeah. And he's going to be hurt. You can't take a fucking sports car and use it as a daily driver. So like you need to take Will Ospreay and put him on commentary. Put him in backstage promos. Put him in interviews. Don't put him in the ring every week because otherwise he's going to fucking blow all of his fucking ACLs before the next pay-per-view.
See, I actually entirely disagree. I think someone like Will Ospreay is someone who's been doing this for a very long time. He's not just doing shows at New Japan. He's been at Rev Pro for years doing this exact same thing. Yeah, Tony Khan will, use him because he's a fresh name. People know who Will Ospreay is. But I also think that that's something is Will Ospreay. He's not someone that Tony Khan needs to really like watch out for. Be like, oh well, you better hurry, in case he breaks his ankle and we can't use him or anything. I don't think it's that. I think it's simply more like, I just lost my train of thought and that really pisses me off. Hold on, let me bring it back. Let me take a sip. Hold on.
No.
The old man just kicked in.
Yeah, no, bring it back because you're bringing up a good point here. He can run.
Kenny Omega is
the actual indie wrestler finally opening his mouth about indie wrestling things. I love it.
Come on. Yeah. You're supposed to be the guy that's telling us the secrets.
I know. I can only do so many things at once. It's been
I agree with what you're saying, and I think I kind of understand what you're saying where like Will Ospreay has been doing this shit for a long time and he has been a workhorse for a lot of companies for a long time. My problem, and I know where Era was going with this too, is it's not Tony Khan, because unfortunately Tony Khan won't watch out for him. He'll be like, man, you took a really nasty fall on your back at this pay-per-view. Now you have a match on Wednesday. Good luck, champ. Like, I don't know if you guys saw, Kevin, you can look it up. Will Ospreay's back after that match. Doesn't look great. But he has a match on Wednesday.
Will Ospreay's back after that match. That bruise is not a like, ow, I fell and now I have a bruise. That is a my back is fucked up bruise. Like that is like, you need to go get looked at. Like Tony Khan. I know that he's not doing it on purpose. Tony Khan is obviously not trying to injure his most valuable stars, but the problem is that when you have these guys like Will Ospreay or your other workhorses like Seth Rollins or Orange Cassidy, they're hurt and they're wrestling hurt. And I understand that that's a normal thing for wrestlers, but it shouldn't be. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be. There's a difference between being like, oh, I'm a wrestler, I take back bumps all the time, my back is sore, versus I've been wrestling for a decade and my back is broken and I need to get surgery, but I'm putting it off because I have this championship that I need to hold on to. So I just tell people not to have me take a back bump unless I really have to. Because that's what they're doing with Seth Rollins right now, where it's like, hey, don't make him do this unless back him into the corner instead. Don't hit him too hard because then he has to go down. And if he goes down, he's going to go for it because he's good. And he wants you to know that he's good. And he's going to give you 110%, but it's going to hurt him in the long run. And Will Ospreay is the same kind of guy where no matter what, he's going to go out there and give you the best match that he can. He's Will fucking Ospreay. He's real damn good at this shit. But like, he had to be told by everybody in the wrestling community, pull it back, otherwise he wouldn't have even been here right now. Like, we need to keep that in mind, that Will Ospreay can go a whole lot more than he's going right now, but he hurts himself when he does it. You know, it's like anime. Like, you gotta only use 10%. You know, like, you don't need to use all of it. You know, like I don't know how else to put it, but like, they just got to use him the right way. He doesn't have to be in a match. We all know that he can go like a motherfucker. Everybody knows that. We've seen him in AEW for years already, right? He's had matches at Forbidden Door. He's had matches at Wembley. He's had, like, people know what he can do. Like, he can come in and he could do promos for a little bit, I think.
Hopefully, you know, at some point, instead of being like, hey, Will, have a match every time you're near a ring, pretty please. They're like, hey, Will, this week, just come out, talk some shit, build some story. But again, it's Tony. Is that going to happen? Probably not.
But what will happen is a extension of the AEW World Championship reign of Samoa Joe, who defeated Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland. I want to make this known off the front. I appreciate Hangman for being a petty ass bitch. Hangman tapped, not because Samoa Joe had him in a chokehold. I mean, yes, Samoa Joe had him in a chokehold, but Hangman Adam Page tapped so that way Swerve Strickland could not be your AEW World Champion. And I said it last week, I admire AJ Styles' amount of petty to fly 16 hours to Australia or whatever it is to hit a motherfucker with a steel chair. I admire Hangman Adam Page coming out here and being a little prissy ass bitch just so that way Swerve can't win. I think it's going to make it even sweeter once Swerve actually does win, because I mean 2024 is going to be his year for sure.
It has to be, right? Like, at this point, it has to be.
Yeah,
otherwise, what the fuck is Tony doing?
I have no idea, but I mean, that was just a great match all around.
What a damn good match. One of my favorites.
It's Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe's not going to have a bad match ever. Hangman Adam Page, as much shit as we give him, he is good. And Swerve Strickland is arguably one of the best right now. So, like, it's not like it was going to be a bad match, but, like, we didn't get the stack that I thought we were going to get, but I fucking love that. And even the commentators were calling it that way, which is why I know that that's how they intended it to be. Because even the commentators were like, he's just tapping so Swerve can't win. And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. That's hell yeah, man.
It's so good. It's so good. I honestly hope that this is like, even when the rivalry is said and done between Hangman and Swerve, that there's always just some era of pettiness to this, like, and then no matter what, like, yeah, sure, they're not going to fight each other week after week anymore, but don't ever be nice to each other, because fuck, that's going to be so fun to watch. It'll be so funny. But, you know, Joe doing Joe things, arguably, my opinion, the better Samosif named Joseph, holding a championship.
Samosif that named Joseph. I love that.
I love it.
I was always a huge Joe guy in WWE when I was able to watch him. I think one of his first matches of mine I was able to watch was I think him and Nakamura when Shinsuke was still in NXT, and that whole series of matches between those two is great, and just seeing him still kick ass and still going strong with AEW right now is making for great wrestling TV, and God bless that sad millennial cowboy. He's trying his hardest, but this time, just making sure that his mortal nemesis doesn't get that title out from underneath him. And I am, it was like a nice level of childish storytelling that I was such a fan of, and I hope shit like that continues, because that was fun. It was a good match, and I had fun with that, and god damn it, that's what wrestling's supposed to be about.
You want to talk about having fun? Let's talk about Sting getting out there with his two sons. I mean, that's got to be fucking cool. You got Sting and Darby Allin with Ric Flair and Sting's two sons who were involved in the match. Neither of them have wrestled before, apparently. going up against the Young Bucks, the AEW EVPs Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. Sting won. Sting is undefeated. Well, it's as the tag team champs. They are undefeated as AEW tag team champs.
No, I think he went 29-0 in AEW, right?
Yeah, like I thought Sting was going out on his back, but Sting's going out on top,
That's
baby.
what I thought.
Stinger forever. Let's go.
This match. I love-hate relationship for me. I probably have the most negative opinion about this one because I understand what it was supposed to do. I get that. But it was fun to see Ric Flair. It was fun to see. Well, no, sorry. It was fun to see
Ric Flair
Ricky
get kicked in the face.
I was annoyed to see Ric Flair because I was like, I understand you're his mortal nemesis, but fuck's sake, dude. Get away from me. You smell like woo wings and woo energy. You can woo right off.
Woo!
He can go woo himself for all I care.
He can go woo himself.
He probably did woo himself out there.
I don't know. I understand wrestling is dumb and supposed to be fun and everything. I was just talking about how much fun I had with this match. But, I mean, come on. Sting is almost a 60-year-old man, and he was getting
64.
his ass hand. Oh, sorry, 64-year-old man. He's almost a 70-year-old man. He was getting his ass kicked the entire match. And all of a sudden, oh, wouldn't you know it? I got enough energy to just go ahead and win the last thing right there. As my partner's back is Swiss goddamn cheese, Darby.
Well, even Sting took a big bump. He went through the tables off the stage. Like,
I think it was you that mentioned to me. Like, Sting said, "You know what? It's my last match. I'm just throwing my body on the line."
Yeah, no. Sting said that he was going to wrestle like he had nothing left to lose. And Darby Allin apparently told him that he was going to die during his last match.
Yeah, Darby was like, "No, me."
Yeah,
I'm gonna die, not you.
Listen. I need to say this off the top. All right, it's not. I say off the top right now. We're in. I like deathmatch wrestling. I don't like Darby Allin jumping off a ladder onto a glass pane onto steel chairs. Like, there's a difference between telling a story with deathmatch wrestling and filming an episode of Jackass. If you want to mutilate yourself on TV, don't do it on AEW, please. Like, I get that they wanted to do a glass spot. Why that one? Why? Like,
because that was off of a high ladder onto the floor, and the only thing that was going to break your fall was those pieces of glass. My God, I still feel my fucking skin crawling just thinking about that spot.
Right, like that's I thought it was funny when they had Nick Gage and Chris Jericho in the ring, and then they ran a pizza ad right after they used a pizza cutter. I thought that shit was funny. I thought that shit was like, I'm not against seeing blood in AEW or anything like that, but like it can't just be Darby Allin going, "Hey, I have a really cool idea for a spot. I'm going to set up a ladder, I'm going to set up a glass pane, and I'm going to jump onto it." What? like you're not gonna like, "Hey, let's set up a glass pane in a corner and you'll Irish whip me into it," or like, there's no wrestling involved there. It's just, I'm going to jump off this ladder and hope that I can still breathe. Like,
let's see if I can break my spine and get internal bleeding, folks.
Right? Like, he's got to be fucked up, dude. Hey, could you imagine? They got to sit on commercial flights. Could you imagine sitting next to Darby Allin on your flight back, and you're just like, "Bro, why does your back smell like blood?"
Sir, your back is leaking on the chair.
Wouldn't that show up on some security scan? Wouldn't that be a red flag? Like, they can see, like when you go like through the airport and they do like the body scan 3D shit. Like, surely that's got to show up with some, right? Like, because he had a giant mark on his back. I don't know if you saw him like towards the end of the match after they kind of toweled him down and they taped him up a little bit too. But like, he had like on his left shoulder, he had like a giant mark. And then like it looked like he fucking got road rash. It looks like he jumped off. It looked like he fucking laid a bike down is what happened. Like it. Oh my God.
I'm fairly certain if he sneezes too hard, he will blow liquid out of his back.
Yeah, dude.
Like a blowhole.
Like a because
it's just, it was so unnecessary. Goodness gracious. And I mean, Ric Flair getting into the match at all unnecessary. It was cool seeing all like the legends come and say like, "Congratulations, Sting! You did it! You're a Hey, I guess that was neat, but like, okay.
I like when the Young Bucks kicked Ric Flair in the face.
Me too.
Yeah, that was the highlight of Ric Flair being there. I mean, if he just wants to show up and get kicked in the face a couple times, I'll watch that.
Yeah, that's good TV.
But watching him try an old man his way into a ring is just mildly embarrassing.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
He really shouldn't be there anymore. Like, I make the joke a lot of times about like letting people out of the retirement home, but like they really gotta put like the child lock on Ric Flair's door or something. Cause like he comes out too many times. He's like, "Oh, I'm retired, I'm gone." And then like 6 months later he pops up and you're like, "Rick, go away." And like, I'm sure after he's done with AEW, I'm sure he'll pop up in WWE. You know, they got a couple months left for WrestleMania. Sting's done now. Like, Andrade and Charlotte are going to be on WWE TV. So it's like, I'm sure Ric Flair will be there. And it's like the same shit where it's like, dude, just go home, hang out, fucking take a load off. Like, that's what Sting should be doing right now. He's wrestled for how long, right? Like, we didn't even think Sting would be here. Remember when Sting got fucking buckle bombed into the corner and was fucking paralyzed or whatever? Like,
yep. And then we got 3.5 years out of him after that.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Good. It's great that he gets to go out on his own terms, but like, dude, we gotta start putting the fucking locks on these doors or something. Like, they can't keep coming back.
I don't know. It just sort of felt a little disingenuous about an old man worrying about another old man's safety when that same old man did a fucking heart attack spot in the goddamn ring. It just seemed a little off character for me. I'm gonna be honest.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
But heart attacks alone, outside of that, for what it was, I rolled my eyes a couple of times, but Sting finally capstones to a pretty damn good career, ranging from WC Dub to TNA to WWE and wrapping up in AEW. It's going to be weird not seeing him there, but also similar to Jason Kelce, it's time to bring in some fresh blood and hopefully see what AEW does with the man made of Swiss cheese Darby Allin in the future as Revolution comes to a close and they cut off the bastard while he was giving his retirement speech too.
Yeah, they timed him. I do want to talk about what they could do with Darby Allin. I think
heel as backup probably would be the first step.
Well, yeah, it's step one. Let him go to a fucking spa for like a week, and let him just kind of take some time off, and then like let him sit at home for 6 months and just heal back up. But once Darby Allin is good to go, because we're joking around about it, but I do legitimately think Darby Allin should take time off of TV. Because when Darby Allin comes back, I think it's time for Darby Allin to kind of get his own Crow persona. Because they're remaking the Crow movie in 2024, which is infamously the same movie.
To start with.
No, it doesn't look great to start with, but it is the movie that like Sting kind of made his thing for the NWO with, like that was his inspiration. So I don't know if they should necessarily do it as the Crow remake because it's not good, but maybe have Darby change his face paint up. Yeah, right. But like maybe have Darby change his face paint up, change the attitude up, and go a little bit less from like, I'm going to be your jackass stuntman to, hey, I'm going to go to these extreme lengths, but maybe he's not taking jumps off of 20-foot ladders in the glass panes anymore. You know, maybe he's just maybe he's doing thumbtack spots instead. Still painful, but not jumping off a 20-foot ladder into a glass pane painful. You know, a little bit more controlled, like stuff like that, like a little bit more like pro wrestling extreme, and not just hi, I'm Darby Allin, welcome to Jackass extreme. But I feel like it's time to give him some time away. And then when they bring him back, kind of rebrand him a little bit, make him a little bit more kind of aggressive, maybe a little bit more striking, a little bit more, you know, fighter aspect to him, and make him a difference maker. Make it like, I don't know if they want to do like the EVPs making their own executive faction, or if they want to just put him on, you know, Bullet Club Gold, or, you know, if they want to put him against him or whatever. But I feel like kind of having him like how Sting was that, like, he was always the person that came and ran off the NWO. I feel like Darby Allin can be in that same spot where whatever super faction is running the game at the time, he can be the guy that comes back after all the time away. And he's an AEW original. So it would, you know, finally get these AEW originals into these storylines, rather than, you know, teasing a devil for 6 weeks and having it be Adam Cole. You know, like, you can start making, you know, your actual homegrown stars some of the talent for these stories. And I think Darby Allin, this is the point where you can safely take him away from your TV, because they said that they're vacating the tag titles and doing a tournament for it, which I feel like is a great way to handle it. So I feel like that's totally fine to have Darby Allin away. He doesn't need to be watching the tournament. He's done with the titles. He's vacated it. You know, like, this is the opportunity to pull him away and bring him back with something new.
How's Darby's dad doing?
Oh, fuck. You think Darby has a dead dad? Hold on, let me Google Darby Allin dad. I'm sure other people have looked it up, because anybody in AEW that's about Darby Allin dad. Who are Darby Allin's parents? Hold on. They said parents. He may.
Because I will say it is going to be very exciting finally seeing Darby back out of the tag division again, because I feel like, unfortunately, the matches have been good. It's sort of like a purgatory for him, if you will. I feel like the last time he was out of the tag division, it was the four-way match with MJF, Sammy, and Jungle Boy.
Darby's dad is unconfirmed.
Oh, shit. Oh,
it
no.
may be.
Oh, no.
Actually, that could make sense. Listen, I don't know if Darby has a dead dad or not, but that could make sense, because Nick Wayne was brought in by Darby Allin.
That could work. That's a match that I would be happy to see.
Yeah.
And dead dads come full circle.
But man, Revolution, damn good pay-per-view. Pay-per-view. Blew my expectations.
Surprisingly good pay-per-view. Yeah.
I just watched it.
Kevin's like, I just saved myself $60 in 4 hours.
Well, just listen to the whole thing. You know what? Ric Flair kicked in the face. Darby Allin bled. No big meaty men.
Well, there weren't big meaty men, but they were just disguised with the smaller meaty men.
Boring meaty men, and that's about it, apparently.
You know who else wanted to save a couple bucks in about an hour's worth of their time? The people of Phoenix, Arizona, after listening to Dwayne Johnson and Roman Reigns talk for a fucking hour.
40 minutes. Yeah.
Good. Sorry.
We'll make this short, because we are almost.
Unlike the Rock speech, we will make this short.
We'll wrap things up. Unlike Dwayne.
No. I agree with you though. We do need to talk about this. What is up with the Rock and Roman Reigns taking 40 minutes of a 2-hour show? And mind you, they went over. The women lost time. Tiffany Stratton and Naomi lost time. They got their entrances cut, and it happened during commercial because Dwayne kept going over. What the fuck who's? We know Vince McMahon is gone, so whose dick is he sucking to get this time? It's like
he doesn't have to. He owns the company. He doesn't have to.
I know, but like, it's a 2-hour show.
Let's also talk about the fact that I'm sure The Rock still is just doing whatever The Rock wants. So the fact that he couldn't come up with a better diss than calling Seth Rollins a clown 847
Yeah,
times.
clown emoji.
And saying that Arizona smokes crack another 847 times. It's like, dude,
Also-
is this all you got? Because wrap it the fuck up, Chief.
Also, sorry,
Your-
Rock, you're not
your
going to get
speech is
heel heat.
garbage.
You're not going to get heel heat telling Arizona to go smoke crack. Everyone in that fucking arena erupted in applause as soon as he said go smoke some more crack.
Yeah,
They were like,
do smoke crack.
Like, that's not heel heat. That's rock heat, but that's not heel heat. That's us going, he made fun of us. Like, no, that's not what we need. We need, like, man, fuck the Rock. Like, it's so, I don't understand what they're doing with him. It feels like they have the Rock and they don't know what to do with the Rock yet. It really feels like they wanted to do Rock versus Roman at 40. And it really feels like we bullied them out of it. And I'm totally okay with it. But like they cannot give him 40 fucking minutes in a 2-hour show. Maybe in Raw, where it's 3 hours, maybe you can get away with it if it's really good TV. But like, you cannot do that on a 2-hour show. That is almost an hour of your TV time going to 4 dudes, and one of them doesn't even talk.
I think my favorite thing with all of this is that really, really awkward conversation that was probably happening while Dwayne was still running his mouth was, "Hey, yeah, Naomi, welcome back. We're so excited to have you here. Ugh, I know, you've been gone for too long, sister. So, your entrance is getting cut. You're getting a jobber entrance. You have to go out to the ring right now. We're in the middle of the commercial. Sorry! Hey, bye!" Like, I feel like, in my opinion, as someone who is not a part of the WWE locker room backstage, I feel like Naomi kind of left over shit like this, and now she came back, and shit like this is happening again.
Yeah,
She's already back on Indeed. Huh. Well, all right.
yeah.
She's like, well, I'm not going back to TNA. I'm only going to get paid $1 a month.
She's like, hey, Mercedes, Tony Khan want to sign a tag team deal?
Because fuck, dude.
I will say this because I actually want to get to the TNA thing. Real quick, though, I said this before. I think I even said it last week that SmackDown is just so much more fun to watch than Raw. And it's not even close. I will say, in terms of the hour-long build, at least it's building to something. I know it wasn't good, but at least they're building something. I'm intrigued. I'm curious to see where it goes. But yeah, you probably could have wrapped this up in a high and tight, like, 10-minute segment.
Yeah. Well, no, the first 10 of it was dedicated to Roman's entrance.
I know. The short and sweet Randy Orton promo is genuinely made me laugh so hard when he's talking to Theory and Grayson Waller. Honest to God, so fucking funny. I thought it was fantastic. I want to see more Randy Orton all the time.
I need to kick somebody's ass in the ring, and you two get to figure it out who it is.
It was so fun.
Isn't that fun?
I feel like there was some the LA Knight promo. You know, we all kind of know where it's going. Always fun to watch. But the best thing on SmackDown was easily the Kevin Owens commentary. Yes. Kevin Owens commentary is on a 10 for me. Beats CM Punk's commentary, and it's not even close,
absolutely.
Personally. Not even close.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens has always been good on commentary.
Yeah.
He's one of those people that when he decides to wrap it up, they need to make sure that they get him on commentary because otherwise it's just a waste.
That's a missed opportunity.
I'm looking forward to like Friday nights now to watch SmackDown. Raw's tonight. Hell, Raw starts right now, and I could give a shit less. I'll probably ask Mike while we're recording, like, "Oh, say, hey, what's going on at Raw? Oh, that's cool. All right." Anyway, but like, I like where all this is going. I'm getting really excited for Mania. But you know, just maybe not all of Mania because, like I said, there's still a lot of not everything's as neat and clean as I'd like it to be.
Got a long road ahead of us to get to Philly, and some of us have a much shorter road to get there than others. Because, goddamn it, I'm still so jealous that it's in your fucking backyard.
Yeah, I got about an hour long drive on the road. But we'll get there.
Do you have tickets to the Hall of Fame ceremony? We can quick touch on that before we jump over to the weekly wrap up with Mike and Kev about TNA.
Yeah, I'm gonna be basically a fucking everything. To be honest.
Nice.
We got tickets to SmackDown, NXT, Hall of Fame, Raw, Mania, the convention that they're doing, the WrestleCon stuff. We're doing stuff at WrestleCon. So, there's going to be a whole lot of stuff. We're going to be watching everything. Paul Heyman is the first inductee.
The first inductee, Paul Heyman. You know what? Good one, too.
I think that is fitting for a WrestleMania in Philadelphia. So I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited to see who's going to induct them in.
Do we want to take guesses on that?
I think
a lot of people said it should have been Brock, but let's be honest. Oh, that's not happening.
I think it's gonna be someone from ECW.
All of ECW.
Yeah, it's gonna be
ECW.
It's gonna be someone from ECW. It's not gonna be somebody who's associated with AEW because they wouldn't let them do that. I feel like WWE has a really good working relationship right now with TNA, so I feel like maybe like a Bully Ray or a Tommy Dreamer, somebody like that.
Yeah, the Dudleys.
Yeah,
maybe it's that bank teller from all those bounce checks. That'd be a good one.
Yeah. But time will tell. I don't know who's gonna join them, but I feel like Paul Heyman being the first inductee in is a great choice here. But Mike, what's I guess we're getting a weekly recap from you now on TNA. What's going on there?
Not a weekly recap.
It's not necessarily a weekly recap.
You don't need to know what happened. It's not important.
See, all right, so the way Kevin said, he's going to be asking me what happened on Raw, right? So we were playing games on Thursday, and I was able to tell him, I was like, listen, this is what's happening on TNA, and it's fucking absurd. And I even broke it down for him. I'm like, it's $1, man. It's $1 to watch this show 4 times in a month, which is insane.
It's 25 cents per TNA episode. Yeah.
And he's like, no. And I was like, yeah. And the production value is like if OVW decided to have TV deals.
So It looks like they're funded by $1 a month, is what you're saying.
Oh, absolutely. Like their ring setup and everything else is not great. They have a lot of talent. It's small.
It's like,
a
quarter of the Performance Center.
Yeah. But, I mean, so me and Kevin were watching, sadly laughing, and just enjoying because we were just playing games, watching TNA be fucking absurd because you get, 2 or 3 actually pretty decent matches, but then you have the production value of, like, a bird, I guess. It's like a bunch of woodchucks made their design set, I guess. It's just I don't know how I don't know how all those people are still loyal there after Scott D'Amore left. Or well, he didn't leave; he got pushed out.
I thought there was a strike or something that was happening.
Not really, because I
don't think there was actually.
Or people
posting something on Twitter or whatever. Like, wasn't there like the locker room pissed off about it?
Oh yeah, the locker room's livid, but it seems like they're livid and they're like, well, we know we still have to deal with it, so we will.
Yeah. Fair, I guess. Yeah, okay.
But so I ended up buying it, and I think I probably got like an hour in. Like I think he watched the first hour before I even joined. But you know what? It is what it is. It's TNA. It's fun to watch, and there's no pressure behind it. It's honest to God like an actual enjoyable experience. And honestly, like not saying you guys have to, but if you wanted to spend the $1 a month, it's honest to God fun. It's fun just to put wrestling on the background that you don't give a shit about. And then every now and then, you do get a good match. It's not the worst thing.
This is the most backhanded compliment I've ever heard.
I mean, it's TNA. We all know.
It's worth the $1, but like it's like background noise, And it's like
kind of
to expect nothing. Expect
one of the most backhanded
zero.
compliments I've ever heard. Yeah, it's shit, but like if you go in with low expectations, it's great. Like,
and that's exactly what it is. You're like, all right, I know to not expect anything good, great, grand from this. But you know what? I'm having fun.
Yeah,
because I'm expecting nothing. Like there's zero hope. You're not rooting for anybody. You're not rooting for anybody. You're not going, yay, this person. you're just enjoying it because you're like, some of these matches are pretty good, and then somebody does a promo and you're like, well, that didn't need to happen. Because
I'm so glad
boy,
I got a
they
good
can't
clip of TNA last week because we're never going to talk good about that company again on this podcast.
I wasn't going to put it like that, but Mike, that is such a good way to put it. Like, no pressure, no hope. It's just TNA. And you know what? It's $1 a month.
If you go out and you have a match with that, even if you botch it up, if you finish the match and you're not hurt, you did good.
Yep. And honestly, I told Mike something when I bought it last week. The words I never thought to say out loud. I spent money on TNA. That's the first TNA ever anything I've ever bought. And it was $1.
5 other people.
Yep.
And one of them's in this call with you.
Oh,
you just helped TNA hit their largest ever YouTube gate.
Holy
That's the
shit,
thing is, I've been following TNA since it first got its TV deal, way back when. And I got to go to like 3 of their pay-per-views when they had Sting, Kurt Angle, Jeff Jarrett, Christian Cage, Rhino. They had, the Young Bucks who were like new generation or some shit at that point. They had AJ Styles. They had all these people. And it was so much better to watch than WWE because it was just guys going fucking balls out every match while they were still storytelling. But like, you had Samoa Joe versus Christopher Daniels versus AJ Styles all in their prime. Stuff like that. I mean, it was incredible. And then you see what it is today where they still have talent. They have a lot of talent, but then it's just like the bookers are like, I don't know what to do with my hands. How do I use these people? Help me. We're going to put these 3 in a group. Why? I don't know. I have no idea. And we're just going to put them together. It's going to be great. Go team. And it's such a fall from grace. I hope when inevitably either this company implodes or these people get to leave, that either WWE or AEW scoops them up because a lot of their wrestlers deserve to be on TV, or that TNA somehow figures themselves out.
Mike, you were running down that TNA All-Star roster there, and it kind of made me think about who we're gonna be able to play when we get our community creations tomorrow in WWE 2K24. But we're going to talk about 2K24 next week. Okay. We're doing it next week because we've been recording for an hour and a half. And listen, I need you guys to understand something. This has to be edited before I play 2K. So I already need that. I'm already going until at least 7:45 before I get to play tomorrow because this is a hit an hour and a half. So somebody needs to get punched in the face or punched in the dick real quick here because we got.
Don't look for me on the internet. You're not going to like what you find. My name's Jackal, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.
I am Fire Guy Kev. I have been here this whole podcast, but it was a lot of Revolution, so I wasn't really. I wasn't. But I've been here. I'll see you guys next week.
My name's Mike. I'm just happy to be here again. It's fun to keep on doing this and talking wrestling.
Oh yeah, and we'll have plenty to talk about next week because we're going to be talking about. I'm sure we'll be talking about 2K24 and I don't know what else, but I can guarantee you 2K24 will be on the roster because that comes out tomorrow. Gentlemen, without there's only one more thing to do, so I don't know.
Hit him while he's down. Jason Kelce's broken.
Wait, what?
Here's
Jason Kelce. We're pinning Jason Kelce.
3. Jason.
All right, that's it. Ring the bell.
Ring the bell.
Oh.
Yeah, we did it, guys.
Damn,
Philadelphia
Jason
lost.
Kelce.
I didn't realize Jason Kelce was here the whole time. I didn't realize. Oh my god! I wish we could have said hi before we punched him in the
Next
face.
Taylor Swift.
He stumbled in a Rey Mysterio mask.
Boyaka, hell yeah.